Sometimes you stumble onto something that catches your attention, something you find interesting, something memorable. That was the case with Devora. My first question was, why do I not know you? So that others may make the same new music discovery, allow me to introduce Devora.
Hi, guys. Hey, Kevin, what's going on?
It's great to really meet you in person. I mean, you and I kind of accidentally met through a mutual appreciation of black cats. And, here we are now talking about your musical career, Devora. Come on, tell us,
Yes.
what's the significance of the name?
Devorah's my middle name. It has a few meanings. First of all, it's Hebrew. It has one of the meanings is lioness of God. Very strong, and I don't know, kind of sounds like a superhero name.
Well, maybe one day you'll make it to a comic book as well, or at least a screen in some character, right?
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope.
So fans, it's spelled Devora. And as an emerging artist, where the heck you been all this time? Come on, share that resume. Give it up. What have you been doing?
I've been everywhere. I've been all over the place, working on my story, writing, living the experience that I'm now telling everybody about in song and vision. And I grew up in Arizona, and desert has always been my home. And I love the mystery and the all the strange things that I've experienced and that have occurred within the desert and within this kind of world that I'm living in right now. And it's been such an honor to be able to work with some really talented producers, bring these stories to life for all of you guys. And I'm really excited about the music that's on the horizon and that's about to come out. And I hope everyone is excited about it too.
The first single you've launched on the world through your social pages is called Not Dead Yet. Tell us about the song. What's the theme behind Not Dead Yet?
So I was coming out of a real dark place, like pretty low. And, there were a lot of things in my life that things had kind of come to a standstill. And I was just trying to find myself and figure out how I wanted to move forward with this collection of stories and songs that I had. And kind of coming off the heels of just a pretty dark place, I started writing lyrics to Not Dead Yet. And it was kind of like an ode to myself in a way of persevering through a lot of bad shit and coming out on the other side and just screaming in an anthemic way, I'm not dead yet. I'm celebrating life, living life in the fast lane without borders, without barriers. I'm going for it. And I hope people hear it and they take on that idea and kind of, plug it into whatever it means for them, because for me, it was the empowering message I think I needed to hear at the time.
When we see you on the screen, you're pretty normal. But when we see you in the video, it's a very grabbing, startling, in a good way, presentation. I kind of compared it a little to, I said you had elements of Taylor Momsen, Maria Brink of In This Moment, Emily Lazar, September Morning, and Baby, only instead of Rob Zombie's Baby, she doesn't want to kill you, she wants to sing to you. So all of this presentation comes together, and I'm going to read directly from your press. Let me quote this. It says, "Not dead yet. In her modern goth Western vignettes, she conjures images of ghost towns, dark rodeos, the haunted desert, abandoned motel rooms, skylines of fire, the open road, and reckless tales of love and loss in a modern Wild West." All right, how much of this first offering will be those very reoccurring themes as you continue to give us more product, Devorah?
The story's only going to get crazier and wilder and deeper into this wild desert world that I'm in. And it's as each single progresses and each as we get closer to eventually an EP being released, it's only gonna dive deeper in a Fear and Loathing style natural born killers on acid kind of way. So the best is yet to come for sure.
Well, back in December, you said that Not Dead Yet is the journey just beginning. So that question, and you've kind of alluded to it, that there's more to come. When will there be more to come? What are you working? Didn't you say something about you're going to do another video here in the next week?
Yeah. So next week we're shooting. There's single coming out beginning to mid-April. And then with that single, we will announce the EP release date. And then shortly after that, another single probably into the summer. And yeah, so it should be it's going to be a constant stream of music here over the next few months. So it's just beginning, and the visuals, and I'm working with a really awesome team to execute sort of the visuals and the narrative and the stories and the aesthetic and the craziness that I have, stored in my brain, and trying to execute it into real life. So it's exciting seeing it come alive.
Well, without getting too much into industry talk, the fact that you are now just getting all this out of the gate, and the people involved in your project, from the management and the behind the scenes, that's a pretty impressive team. And again, we're not going to let people go, huh? Because that's what you'd say if we started rattling off the names, unless you're a real geek as far as behind the scenes in the music industry. But you've got some pretty impressive people that are backing you. So how did you get discovered?
I'm super grateful for the amazing team that I have behind me. Renee Mata, who's a A&R manager out of New York City. He works for a producer management company called AAM. Him and I met in LA 3 to 4, 5 years back, and we stayed in touch. And he just, from day one, even though I was kind of working on other things at the time, he was like, I see something in you. I wanna do something together. And finally, I want to say about last summer, or a little bit before last summer, I called him. I was like, I've got this crazy idea, and I really want to do it. I've been wanting to do it my whole life since I was a kid. And what do you say? And he was like, let's do it. He's like, I back you 100%. And then very imminently after, the pieces just started falling together, and pretty soon, here we are with single number 1. So.
Devora, you grew up in the desert, West Desert, Arizona area, and you call the style of music you're trying to really create and mold outlaw pop, and it's from seeing, as you mentioned, the darker side of desert life. What musical elements go into this outlaw pop?
I personally, I love pop. I have a pop sensibility, like with my songwriting, and I'm a sucker for pop melodies and country melodies, and I love it. And I love rock and roll. So there's a lot of guitar elements and drums and instruments happening all over the place. Coupled with, we've got elements like slide guitar and pedal steel, and we've got cowbell and some of the stuff, it's like all kinds of
Or cowbell.
Yeah, exactly. All kinds of stuff. And the producers that I've been working with, Alex Aldi and Cass Dillon, they're such visionaries, and they were really able to take everything that I was thinking in my head, take that and mold it into musical form, which isn't easy to do, to just literally share a brain with somebody. Essentially, that's how it felt.
Tell us about some of the characters in your modern Gothic surreal world who are going to be coming to life in future songs.
There's me, the outlaw, and then we have something that we're setting up called the Devorah Motel. And this is kind of the Devorah Motel is sort of where what'll eventually be a hub kind of online space where fans can interact. Maybe some live streams happen. Specialty like merchandise is sold. It's kind of the hub of this project. And so that, even though that's more of a place, it's definitely a big part of this. And in this next video, we start to open the doors of what the Devorah Motel looks like, and what it feels like, and the sort of eeriness and creepiness surrounding this hotel and how it ties into the project. And we've got sheriffs that are characters. We've got other outlaws. There's a series of other characters that are after me, and we're on the run. So we got to figure out what's next. But it's certainly exciting to see these characters come to life, especially in these next videos.
One video out right now, not dead yet, to introduce the world to Devora. Another video about to be shot. The little residence that might not be the place you want to stay, depending on how you want your future to go, which you just mentioned coming up, and an EP in the future. So who do you want to go out and tour with? Are there any bands that you're just like dying to go, I can't wait to get on the road, do all this out in front of people, and I'd love to play with?
If the lines of reality and fantasy were blurred, my dream tour would be, you know, with Johnny Cash playing some state prisons in the area. I think that'd be awesome. San Quentin, like he did in the 60s. Modern day though, I've always been a huge fan of Nine Inch Nails. It'd be such a dream to tour with Trent. There's a few up and coming darker country artists that are really cool. This guy Tyler Childers, he's kind of on his way up, and he's like the rock and roll country version of like Kurt Cobain, like in 2021. It's really cool stuff. This guy Coulter Wall, love to tour with him. He's super wacky and out there. And there's a female artist named Chelsea Wolfe. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's amazing. She's it's sort of more in the goth rock realm, but she's pretty wild and mesmerizing. Bring Me to the Horizon. It's kind of heavier, but I'm a huge fan of Ollie Sykes and their music.
What I find interesting is that your genre interest knows no boundaries. You're talking about everything from outlaw country to the theme. You go down the pop road. You say industrial music. You got Trent Reznor in there. You're talking about Bring Me the Horizon, just an outstanding band. And there are lots of great gothically themed bands that really do bubble under. And, you know, maybe this is a chance for you to take some of this style and bring it a little more to the forefront, because definitely you've got the presentation and the sound. But I'm going to tell you, I want to hear more. One song's not enough. So, okay, you got my attention. And there's going to be a lot of other people who are going to say, okay, you got my attention. Bring it. What are you going to do next? So we look forward to that. And we're going to touch base again when we can set up a timeline a little better about what all this is coming.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Tell us something about yourself that fans would find surprising.
When I was a kid growing up, my dream job, I was always singing since I was like an infant, pretty much, you know, since I was in the crib. But as a kid, like 8 to 12 years old, I wanted to be a funeral director.
Walking out with The Undertaker on WWE, or is in for real, embalming bodies?
No, like a straight up funeral director, embalming bodies. That's my parents steered me out of that, kept me on my musical path, and here we are.
You understand the irony of that. If your music career dies, you can always go into the funeral business.
I guess so. And it'll make a little more sense. This will all make more sense when you hear the next single too. You'll have an aha moment for sure.
Well, Devora, it's I can't emphasize enough the word interesting is what came to mind when I first saw Not Dead Yet. And you've got my curiosity peaked. So best of luck. Looking real forward to hearing what comes out of that brain next, or I should say out of that imagination.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm excited. Thank you.